Good afternoon, everyone. You can see from the drone footage that preceded this video that there has been quite a bit of work done outside. We've gotten the roof dried in with a very heavy-duty kind of rubberized underlayment. The builder said he had never seen anything like it, but he said you almost didn't even need a metal roof of that stuff. It's supposed to last for years, and it's pretty heavy-duty. He said it's not just the typical underlayment they use. I don't know what it is exactly, but the good news is we feel confident our roof's going to be dry for many years to come. Also, the windows are all in except for the one in the office. You can see it out by the front. Show you out here. They're waiting for the scaffolding, which you can also see from the drone. They're starting to set up the scaffolding. There's the window for the office. That is going to allow them to start stuccoing the outside this coming week, as well as the drywall supposed to start this week. You can tell by the pictures here, all the insulation is in the ceilings and the walls. And what was nice was there were only a few walls. We wanted most of the interior walls to be insulated for soundproof reasons. If you have people visiting or staying over in a guest bedroom and there's people out here partying in the great room in the kitchen, they'll have some privacy because this whole wall has been insulated that separates the guest bedroom from the great room in the kitchen area and from the dining room. So it allows some privacy, some peace and quiet, get some sleep. You can see this is all insulated. This room is tight. This whole house is tight. Insulation is all done in the great room. Did a beautiful job. Ceilings are all done. They were done last week, I believe, on last week's video, but now we got the walls done. I guess the electrical inspections passed. All the plumbing inspections are passed. They're ready to button this thing up. Let's go in here. Say hello to Miss Marcia.
Hello. It's pretty hot today. With the windows in, we're not getting the breeze. I just stepped in from outside on the wraparound porch, and that's always going to be really nice, I think, no matter how hot it is outside.
Let me step over here. You want to talk about that little template you're holding?
Yes. So one of the things we've struggled with is this wall, if you can pan up.
Yeah, I tried to. But
yeah, the ceiling here is 16 feet tall. And it's we've had tall ceilings in the past, and it's always, to me, a challenge in decorating that, making it feel like not a castle wall or something, making it feel homey. And so I've decided that on this wall, we're going to have some decorative paint done that's going to look like a somewhat of a plaster look with some gold running through it, because we're going to have a gold chandelier in the dining room. Not a lot of gold, just a little hint. So I found some lighting that kind of gives a nod to the Art Deco period when the dam was built here. But they weren't large enough. And so I really loved them, and I tried to figure out what we could do in order to make them work on this wall. So I drew up some ideas, probably about 4 or 5 ideas, and settled on one. And Bill came up with the idea that we wouldn't have to have this decorative piece made in metal, but that he could create this with wood. We could paint it black, and so we would have black. This piece would be in black. And it would look sort of like a
Can you hold that up there again? I'm sorry, okay. I had the camera. It was tracking on you instead of there it is.
There we go. So this will be black wood, a satin black wood, okay? And then the actual light will set inside of it. It's gold, and then it's got a white rounded, and we'll show this at a later time when these are made, a white rounded glass shade. So there will be 3 of them across this wall. So you'll walk in, and it sort of will look like torches on this faux painted wall. So trying to give it a little bit of character and yet not having like a sterile look, like just a painted wall. So that's one of the things we've been working on. Actually, Bill spent about, I don't know, an hour and a half yesterday in the garage making this template. But I think it's a perfect size. And that's one of the things we found with the taller ceilings is that we have to think about proportion, the size of lighting, the size of furniture. And that's one thing that is a challenge. So, yep.
Very nice. Let's take a walk back here. Trying to see, we just did a quick walkthrough, but you can see the insulation's in everywhere. All the bathrooms are fully insulated, soundproofed. The wall from the master bedroom, in fact, the whole master bedroom is. Even the closet. They buttoned this house up pretty tight. Although, I'm paying for it, I guess, so I guess however you look at it, it's not like anybody did anything. We asked for it. It's nice to see it done, though, because it's been a long process to get here, I'll tell you that. It's funny is when we walked in here today, even though this area is relatively quiet anyhow, because it's away from any of the main streets, and it's just a residential area with bigger lots, and it's very quiet up here. But even when we walked in the house a few minutes ago, it was like it was totally different. It was just dead quiet in here. The insulation really just totally soundproofed this place even more than it was. So it's going to be a nice quiet home to spend time in, that's for sure. You want to talk a little bit about your dining room table? Or
yeah,
what were you going to?
Sure. So as I've said before, Bill and I try and save money where we can. We initially were going to have a walnut top dining room table in this room, and we were looking at a square. But as you can see, this room is very long, and instead of fighting with the dimensions that we already have, we decided to have a dining room table similar to the one that we had in Florida, which was a glass top table. Don't have to worry about water rings or anything like that. And I want to be able to use every space in this house. There's nothing that's off limits. So I got on Facebook Marketplace, and today we're going to go take a gander at a glass top table to see. We really just want the glass because glass is very expensive when you order it exactly to size that you want.
And with the beveled edge and the thickness, it's at least a half an inch thick.
Right. So we're going to see if this works out, this tabletop, and then we will probably have legs built for the table. But that's one of the things that we can get some really nice, beautiful dining chairs, the nice legs, and not have the expense of the glass. The tabletop is on sale they marked it down. They started at, I think, $400, and now we're down to $125. So that's very, very reasonable. So anyway, we're going to do that today. But what I'd like to talk to you about is planning. And I'd like to take you into our guest room, which will also kind of be my little space where I like to write and I like to read, and when we don't have guests here. But you have to think about multi-purposes for some rooms sometimes if you don't have like 6 bedrooms, and we don't in this house. One of the things that Bill asked for on the wall that's between the guest room and this hallway and the great room, of course, is the insulation. So that was thinking about guests. And initially in this room, the closet was in a different place, and I don't even remember where it was, but I wanted the closet to be a place where guests could hang clothing, and we're going to have bypass doors in here, and half of the closet will be for guest clothing, but the other half is for me. And when I say for me, I have a great deal of books. I have gotten rid of a great deal of books, but I still have books that are near and dear to my heart that I cannot I cannot part with. So we're going to have the finished carpenter put in shelves for all of my books, and they will be behind closed doors with a closet. And here will be, I have a writing desk that has a glass insert in it where I can write and not imprint upon the wood. So I had this space made for this writing desk. So the writing desk will go here. But of course, when we have guests, sometimes when we visit, I have no place to put makeup on or just to sit down or even to put my clothes on a chair or whatnot. So I try to think about what would be helpful for our guests. So this can be used for makeup with that glass insert. I will put out a makeup mirror for guests that come and visit. There will be a chair here for them as well. And so then the headboard will be here. And then I've been looking at little 3-drawer mini chests instead of a nightstand. I haven't found one yet, but it's on my radar. That way, if we have a guest that's staying for, a couple of weeks, they can put their things here in the chest and not be worried about living out of a suitcase and tuck that into the closet. So I'm trying to think about what would make our guests feel comfortable and meet their needs, and also give them some privacy with the insulation, the quiet factor. So just one of those things to think through. And I know that we'll miss 100 things, but we've tried to think of a lot of things for our guests and for ourselves. What we want this house to be very utilitarian, very useful. We want it to be pretty, but at the same time, we want there to be not a space where we never go in. We want it to have multiple purposes, just like the laundry room / art room. I think that we've done a good job of thinking through those things. And hopefully, when you see it all put together, right now it's probably difficult for you to visualize, but hopefully you'll see what I'm talking about when we put it together. So,
good deal. Anything else you want to talk about in
No,
here?
I think that's about it. We brought lighting in today and held it up there again to see if the proportion is right. We put lighting up against the kitchen window to make sure that the actual lampshade didn't hang down onto the window. So just little things like that, because right now we can change things. We get too far down the road, we won't be able to. So, yep, it's just, and this heat is just a killer. I'm looking forward to the fact that we're probably going to be moving in December or January. That'll be a nice time to move. I would not want to be lugging big boxes and trunks of stuff this time of year. So I think that's it for today.
All right. Well, thanks a lot for joining us, and till the next video.
All right. We'll see you next time.